Good evening, and welcome to Creative Broadcasting, the station of unlimited possibilities, presents Creating Your Seat at the Table with your host, Ashley Little, as she welcomes her guest to the table.
Welcome to Creating Your Seat at the Table. I am your host, Ashley Little. A little bit about myself: corporate professional by day and entrepreneur by night, two-time best-selling author, host of Authors on the Rise, speaker, Forex trader, senior vice president of operations for DMV Masterminds, co-host of the Tammy Collins Marquee Radio Show, co-founder of Sweetheart Scholars Nonprofit, owner and creator of Creative Broadcasting, co-founder and owner of Talk Radio and TV Network, LLP, vice president of sales and marketing for Melanie People Magazine, sales and marketing for Swag Her, and blogger and media for Black Women Hustle. Today we have my special VIP guest. Her name is Dr. Mellissa Nolan-Chester. A little bit about her. Margaret Mead once said, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed people can change the world." Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. Dr. Mellissa Chester is a part of that small group of thoughtful people, committed to serving and impacting the lives of those in our community. Since she was a teenager, Dr. Chester has worked to improve the situations of others through exemplary service. From the start of her service endeavors, she has displayed characteristics of dedication, diligence, passion, and care to the youth in our community. Her goal of positively impacting youth in the community is evident in the commitment that she displays in the work she does with local, regional, and national nonprofit organizations, businesses, and individuals. Dr. Mellissa Chester is the co-founder and CEO of Black Educators Rock, Inc., a national nonprofit which boasts over 155,000 minority educators in its Facebook group. Black Educators Rock, Inc.'s goal is to further the academic success of our nation's minority students by closing the attitude gap that exists among educators and students. It accomplishes this goal through its local chapters, partnerships, and collaborations with other local, regional, and national nonprofits and their flagship event, the ROC Conference. The ROC Conference is a summer professional development conference and hosts the top educational consultants and educators in the country. Black Educators Rock, Dr. Chester also runs the Black Educators Rock Network and its 3 internet and talk radio stations, Enlighten Media, Elevate Media, and Empower Media. Black Educators Rock is also in the process of creating Black Educators Rock Publishing, a platform to create educational materials that correctly reflect today's society. Dr. Chester attained her BS and master's degree from Florida A&M University and her PhD from Florida State University. She has taught at several universities, including Florida A&M University, Florida State University, Grambling State University, University of North Florida, and online at Southern New Hampshire University. While residing in Tallahassee, she was very active in the community. Some of her community outreach includes co-creating the grassroots program, Positive Proof Mentoring, at Robb Middle School, serving as event coordinator for the 1,000 Men Rally, and working with the city of Tallahassee Parks and Recreation to create and present numerous programs, seminars, and workshops. Her volunteerism also includes the Black History Program at Dade Street Community Center, the March on Wellness and Obesity Health Seminar, and the Youth Teen Summit, Youth Talent Show Planning Committee, and mentoring and tutoring preteen and teenage and college young ladies. Dr. Chester currently resides in Jacksonville and is actively involved with many organizations and her sorority, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Dr. Chester is a member of the Jacksonville Public Education Fund, Community Advisory Team, Urban Education Synopsis Steering Committee, is a board member for the Center One Foundation, and is a certified instructor for the national initiative known as Adult Mental Health First Aid. She has also served as assistant program manager for the Mayor's Summer Jobs Program, a program that employed hundreds of youth, served on the planning committee for Operation Save Our Sons, a nonprofit for at-risk males, and assisted former Jacksonville Jaguar Donovan Darius create and run his nonprofit organization from 2011 to 2017. She has also presented at many conferences, seminars, and workshops at numerous universities, businesses, and nonprofit organizations, K-12 schools, including but not limited to character development, increasing self-esteem, mental health awareness, personality assessment, communication and conflict resolution, health and physical fitness, financial literacy, entrepreneurship, and high school graduation and college preparation. Dr. Chester is married with 2 sons and is currently a broker and the Director of Training and Education at Premier Coast Realty, LLC, and the lead instructor at Premier Coast Real Estate School, LLC. Welcome, Dr. Chester.
Why, thank you. You know, I had to make sure my bio matched your bio, so I had to, you know, make sure I pulled out some of the stuff I do. Gosh, I had to make sure I had to reach deep when I heard your bio.
Oh, you know, your bio beats mine by far.
Not at all.
You have a pretty awesome bio, Dr. Chester. It is an honor to interview you tonight. So would you please tell the listeners more about yourself?
Well, a lot of it was covered in what you said. The main points that I wanted people to know about me is that I am a servant. I am a servant at heart. Hence me belong to the organization, the sorority, the best sorority in the world, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority
That's
Incorporated,
right.
where service is at the center of everything we do. And so I really believe in what Oprah said about, you know, if you find your purpose, the money will follow. You know, she said, if you serve the people and find your purpose, money will follow. And so that is a mantra that I try to live my life by. And so I'm currently running that nonprofit organization for educators and have, I don't think I mentioned in the book, in my bio, that I have co-authored a couple of books.
Yes, you have. Mm-hmm.
I co-authored a couple of books, and I do have that title as best-selling author. And so just ready to continue doing this work that I do.
Awesome. So I know that you still, you know, pretty much you are a full-time entrepreneur, but you have been in corporate and you have done both before. So tell us about your entrepreneur journey. How did it start? And tell us about where you're at now and how it is going thus far.
Oh, wow. So my entrepreneurial journey probably started back when I was in graduate school. Once I finished my master's degree and started on my PhD, I don't know why, but I let 2 guys talk me into opening up and running a convenience store and restaurant. We had a convenience store, restaurant, and a car wash, and we called it One Stop Shop. We were near the university, near FAMU. In less than a year, both my partners, I lost them. I don't know where the guys went, but they left. And so I ended up being a sole proprietor of the One Stop Shop. And so I ended up having a staff, and I had cooks and cashiers, and I had someone who ran my car wash. And I did all of that while I was pursuing my PhD at Florida State. I was also teaching full-time as a visiting professor at FAMU, and I was running that store. And so that is where my entrepreneurial path, well, no, I actually lied. Before then, my cousin and I tried to start an identification card company for children. That was my first entrepreneurial endeavor, and I talk a little bit about that in my book, which we'll talk a little bit about later. But my first successful entrepreneurial endeavor was me running the One Stop Shop. So a convenience store, restaurant, sandwich shop, sold wings and shrimp and fish and sub sandwiches and smoothies. And then, you know, in the convenience store, they could come and get their we had an ATM, we had Western Union. They could come in and, you know, get whatever they needed at the store. Then they could go over and eat at the restaurant, and then they could even get their car washed. And so that's why we called it the One Stop Shop. So that's where it began for me, is the One Stop Shop.
That is amazing, Dr. Chester. You went from a one-stop shop to a national nonprofit, a network, and a publishing company. That's pretty awesome.
Yes. But I'll tell you, it didn't happen just by happenstance. I believe that all those things happen because of divine timing and divine connections. Many of the things that I'm involved in now came out of my connections with others, yourself being one of those people, and all the phenomenal educators who are a part of Black Educators Rock.
That's pretty awesome. So you said something that I really want to touch on. You said it came from divine timing and divine connections. So could you talk to listeners about how important building genuine relationships are to your success and how they are worth more than money?
Oh, my gosh. We all have heard that saying that your network is worth your net worth. It's equal to your net worth. But people really, really just must understand who your network is. I do not align myself with people who do not philosophically fit with who and what I am. And doing so, aligning myself with folks, I do it from my third eye. I do it from my spiritual space. I let God tell me who and what I should be involved in. And so when it comes to relationships, I believe that relationships have to be reciprocal. They have to be a win-win, like there has to be a win-win situation. And so there is nothing more important than making sure that you're aligned with the right people. And the one thing that we must realize when it comes to being aligned with the right people is not about finances. It's not about where a person is on the status continuum. They don't have to be the most famous person or, they're moving and shaking. But it has to be people that philosophically align with who you are, what you are, and where you're trying to go.
I love it. Who you are, where you are, and where you're trying to go. Love that. And some takeaways that I got from what you just said was also aligning yourself with the right people in those reciprocal relationships. So those are very important when building those relationships in order to make sure that they're lasting and that, that you're both helping each other get to the next level. So I love that.
Exactly, Ashley, exactly.
So Dr. Chester, you are the co-founder and CEO of Black Educators Rock, a national nonprofit which boasts over 155,000 minority educators. So please tell the listeners more about this amazing nonprofit and how educators who are listening can get involved.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to share about the organization. Like Ashley mentioned, we do have over 155,000 Black educators from across the country and abroad in our Facebook group. And the way in which we got started was honestly very organic. It was very natural. I had a former student of mine from Florida A&M University who reached out to me and said he wanted to start a Facebook group for Black educators, for them to share resources, to connect on, to empower each other, to hype each other up for the upcoming school year. And I was like, hey, let's do it. And when he did it, the Facebook group grew to over 1,000 people overnight. And then in 90 days, we had over 100,000 Black educators across the country and abroad. And so when that happened, I let my students know that we have to do more than just be a Facebook group. We have to be so much more than a Facebook group. And so what we did was we started the process of creating a nonprofit. And so Black Educators Rock was the Facebook group was started in July of 2015. The nonprofit was started in October of 2015, and then we opened membership in January of 2016. And so we have an annual conference that I mentioned in my bio, the Rock Conference. And that annual conference is our flagship program. It's a flagship thing that we do. And then what it actually is, it's during the summer. It is, while we were in the Facebook group, we noticed that thousands of educators were frustrated and dreading going back to school for the upcoming school year. And that really bothered me. And so what I did was say, we got to have a conference. And so the conference's purpose is to encourage, inspire, and empower you for the upcoming school year. And so when people leave our conference, we want their fire reignited for the upcoming school year, to go in to touch our babies with an attitude and a mindset that they are great and that they can achieve whatever they want to achieve. And so that is the basis behind who and what Black Educators Rock is. We currently have chapters all across the country. We're growing those very strategically. We are in New York, we're in Texas, we're in Arkansas, we're in Georgia, we're in Florida, and we're in a few more other cities and states. And so, to start that local chapter, we have to, again, make sure that those people, like I stated earlier, are philosophically aligned with what we are trying to do and who we are.
Amazing. So it all started with one idea from your student, which went from a Facebook group to now a national nonprofit. That is awesome. That shows how, the power of connection, that speaks for that's definitely an example of that. And also, I want to just congratulate you and commend you for, creating this space for educators to be better to our future, to be better educators for our future kids and our students. And, this space is needed for them. And I'm loving the ROC conference as well. It seems like it's a conference that really helps our educators prepare for the school year.
I would be remiss if I did not mention that the best thing about that conference is that we're able to keep that conference very low for educators because of the numerous national and international speakers, consultants, educators who come and pour into the educators, many of them for free and no cost, so that we can keep that registration low. We have people such as Principal Baruti Kafele, Dr. Chika Akua. We have Mr. Robert Jackson, Mr. Eric Court, Dr. Marcus Jackson, Ms. Merlina Valentine. And when I say the list goes on and on and on and on, it goes on to a point of the conference last year, we had over 60 presenters and speakers. And all of those people either came for free or paid to be there so that we can keep that conference cost low. And so, like you said earlier, like I mentioned, those networks, those people who you are philosophically aligned with, they're going to be the most important thing when it comes to you creating who you're connected to.
Awesome. So I know you created and founded Black Educators Rock, and then you have the Rock Conference. So now you have Black Educators Network. So tell the listeners a little bit more about the Black Educators Rock Network.
So the Black Educators Rock Network is just what she said. It's a network. It encompasses 3 media stations, and she mentioned those media stations. They are Elevate Media, Empower Media, and Enlighten Media. And they go along with our 3 areas of focus. And so our 3 areas of focus with Black Educators Rock is professional knowledge, instructional strategies and practices, and empowerment and advocacy. And so those stations are for people who are in those lanes in education, be it educators, consultants, people who just want to pour into educators, parents, whoever, who have something they want to share. We've created a platform for them to be able to share that to the masses. We're excited about it. Actually, this is the first time that the public is hearing about it because we haven't made the official announcement yet because we're doing it in honor of Black History Month. But Ashley is so awesome. Ms. Little is so awesome. I wanted that announcement to be on her show first because, again, when you talk about important connections, it exists because of Miss Ashley Little. She's the person who, afforded that opportunity to Black Educators Rock. And so we thank you for that, Ms. Little.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chester. It's a blessing to be connected to you as well. Yes, and I'm excited to see what Black Educators Rock Network is going to do. I know it's going to be awesome. I'm excited about all 3 of the stations and excited about everybody that's going to be involved in it. Also, would you let the listeners know if they would like to be involved?
Yes. If you would like to be involved with Black Educators Rock, you can visit us at blackeducatorsrock.org. If you want to learn about our conference, it's www.rockconference.org. And you can also reach us by phone at 1-833-4BER-INC. That is 1-833-4BER-INC. And so rockconference.org, blackeducatorsrock.org, and 1-833-4BER-INC. those are ways to reach us in the immediate. And you can also email us at info@blackeducatorsrock.org.
And for our educators that are listening, this is your chance to get involved with this awesome national nonprofit. Please reach out. So, Dr. Chester, please tell the listening audience more about the 5 platforms of success and why they are important.
Okay. So I'm going to go back to why. Okay, so what Ashley is speaking about when she talks about the 5 platforms of success, it's what I wrote about when I co-authored a book, The Girlfriend Code, Volume 1. And so there are these codes that each one of us talked about. And so the code that I chose to talk about was the success code. And I decided to talk about the success code because, you know, no matter where we are in our lives, our careers, our personal lives, professional lives, etc., everyone is always trying to attain success, right? Everyone wants success. And so what I talk about in the solution to success is the fact that first things first, everyone must realize that success is subjective. Success is a personal thing, right? What's success for me may not be success for the next person. And so the first thing I have people do before getting into what the platforms are is I make people acknowledge and accept the fact that I don't need you comparing and contrasting yourself to anybody in order to determine whether you are, quote-unquote, successful or not. Your success is based on what you feel success is. And so once we start establishing that, we realize I start talking about that no matter what you want to be successful in, there are some non-negotiables that each person is going to have to employ in their lives. And I call these non-negotiables the 5 platforms of success. And so my 5 platforms are mindset, right? Mindset. That's the first one coming out the gate. Because without a proper mindset, nothing else matters. You can have all the skill sets in the world, but if your mind isn't right, that mind ain't right, Ashley, nothing else matters, right? So mindset is that first, mindset is one of those first things that you have to have. Mm-hmm. And then I talk about having an idea, right? You have to have an idea. And so many people have many ideas, right? We have ideas all the time. But the problem is people don't bring their ideas into fruition. And so in the book, I talk a little bit about the fact that my cousin and I, we had this idea to start this children's identification card company. And we bought us a laminator machine. This was back in the 90s, y'all. We bought us a laminator machine. We were taking the baby's fingerprints. We were taking their pictures. We were putting their allergies and all that stuff on there. This is before you had the huge companies that you have now, IdentiKid and some of the others. And our company was called Kid Safe IDs. We did that for one summer, and we were successful. We had a phenomenal idea. However, unfortunately, Ashley, we didn't do too well because we just dropped the idea. So having an idea is not enough. You can have the mindset and you can have an idea, but you got to have the guts and the wherewithal to continue to do what you're doing. You got to decide that, you know what, this is what I want to do, and then you have to have the discipline and the perseverance and to see things through. And so I talk a little bit about each of those platforms and what they mean inside my book, and just give some personal examples as to when I did choose to decide that, you know what, I'm doing this. And when I decided, decisions make you act. When you make a decision, when you say, okay, you know what, I'm going to do this, then you're going to act on it. And so I talk a little bit about those things in the book and just how these 5 platforms have been very, very integral in my success in the different endeavors that I found myself in.
Awesome. And I'm blessed to be able to be in that book with you, The Girlfriend Code, Volume 1. Yes, and your chapter was Success Code. So, Dr. Chester, please tell listeners how they can support and purchase your book.
Well, the book is available through my link, which is bit.ly/solution, 2, success. So that's bit.ly/solution, the number 2, success.
So listeners, please go out and support Dr. Chester in the Girlfriend Code, Volume 1. Her chapter is a success code. Please go out and support her and purchase her book and read more about the 5 platforms of success. I promise you, you will learn a lot. She's dropping a lot of gems in her chapter. So Dr. Chester, you're also in the process of creating Black Educators Rock Publishing. Tell us more about that platform.
Thank you, Ashley. And before I talk a little bit about Black Educators Rock Publishing, like Ashley said, not only am I in the book, but so is Ashley and many other young ladies, just again, giving our codes, talking about the finance code and the different codes. And so it's a great book if you want to have a little girl time and you want to do a little book club. It's a cute, easy read, and I think you guys would enjoy it. It also has a journal that accompanies it for you to reflect on from the different chapters that you read on. And so it's definitely worth the dime. And so I would invite you guys to get it because not only am I in it, but there are 13 other phenomenal women who are sharing what they want to share in relation to the Girlfriend Code. And so when it comes to Black Educators Rock Publishing, we all may be aware that right now we live in times where a lot of our media, we're not properly represented. We're not properly displayed. And so Black Educators Rock Publishing is just going to be that platform where we have instructional content that correctly and accurately mirrors what our societies look like. Many of our textbooks, I don't know if you remember when you were in school, Ashley, but I know when I was in school, I didn't see any Black people in the books. I didn't see anybody in the books but white folks. And so with that, that's not who society is now. And that's one of the reasons that our children suffer with low self-esteem is because they can't see themselves in anything. And when you can't see yourself in something, you don't see something that looks like you, it's hard to believe that you can be what you don't see. How do you expect me to be what I can't see? And so, we have so many authors currently with Black Educators Rock who have content. They have instructional books, books for little ones. They have books for adults, and they've written books that are written for us, by us. And so one of those authors is L. Kobe the Wiz. He writes about phonics and math for K through 3. And so in those books, of course, those children look and sound like us. And so it's just an opportunity and a platform for people to provide books that accurately reflect our ever-changing and diverse society.
I love that. And thank you, Dr. Chester, for creating that space for our children of color and giving your members a chance to grow and get to the next level. So reaching back and pulling forward, that is pretty amazing. And I am so excited to see what BER Publishing is going to do.
Thank you, Ashley. Thank you so much. And I must admit, guys, I must apologize for my voice. I don't normally sound this raspy and sexy, but I'm teaching a 7-day real estate course. And so one of the other hats that I wear is that I am a real estate broker and I am a real estate instructor in the state of Florida. And so I help people become licensees in the state of Florida. And I teach a 7-day straight real estate class from 8 in the morning until 6 p.m. at night, Monday through Sunday. And so my days are long, and I'm talking to people who don't talk back to me. And so I'm talking for 8 hours straight. And as much as I love talking, it does get to be tiresome sometimes. So I'm going to apologize for my Eartha Kitt voice that I have tonight.
Well, I couldn't even tell, Dr. Chester, but thank you for pushing through for us to give us some awesome knowledge that we can take and use in our daily lives. So, Dr. Chester, you have presented at many conferences, seminars, workshops, and numerous universities, businesses, and nonprofit organizations, as well as K-12 schools, including but not limited to character development, increasing self-esteem, mental health, personality assessment, communication, conflict resolution, health and physical fitness, and financial literacy, and entrepreneurship for our high school graduation and college preparation. So please tell us more about how one can accomplish all of these amazing goals that you have done.
Oh my, how can they accomplish them is to just get started. Anyone who speaks on any level will tell you that you can only get started by getting started, right? The best way to do anything is to get started, right? The best way to do anything is to start. And so for those of us who have aspirations to kind of share our knowledge base, share some of the things that we've learned, start going to your local schools. Start going to your community centers and asking, can you speak to the youth? That is how I got started in Tallahassee, Florida, when I was in school, when I was in college. I used to volunteer at the community centers there. And so I eventually started just running programs, creating programs for young ladies. I had the Sister Circle at FAMU, where I talked with freshmen, young ladies, about all those things that are relevant in being in college, from relationships to sex to self-esteem, etc. But the way in which I did it was I just got started. I wanted to do something. I'm one of those people, if I want to do it, I'm just going to do it. And nobody's going to tell me that I can't do it. I'm just going to do it. And so the best way to get started is, like I said, just find someone and let them know you want to get started and start talking. If you have something of substance to share, it would be a travesty for you to keep it to yourself, right? Our purpose in life is to find out what we're great at, but then once we find that, we're supposed to share it. You're supposed to give that away, not keep it to yourself.
I love that. Find out what your purpose is in life and then share it, and do not keep it to yourself. I love that, Dr. Chester. And the biggest takeaway was just getting started. And we have to be okay with if we fail to get up and dust it off and keep going. So for everybody that's, wanting to get out into the speaking industry, the goal is to just get started and do it afraid.
Exactly, Ashley, exactly. You are someone who is out moving and shaking, and I'm sure you would attest to that, the first time how you got started is that you started it. You just said, hey, I want to do this, and hey, you know what, I'm going to do it. And so many people, again, and like I said, that's one of the platforms in my book, you just got to decide, right? Because the decide makes you act, right? Oh, I don't know. Oh, I think so. I'm not sure. I think I want to. No, if you want to do it, decide you want to do it, and then make it happen.
Yes, you have to. And be okay with not being perfect. A lot of us are so stuck on being perfect, and that's why we're sitting on our dreams. But we got to be okay with, if it don't work out, to keep going and do it until it happens, and not giving up. That's the difference. So, yes, Dr.
Oh, my God, that is a great point. That is a great point, Ashley. That is definitely true. You can't wait to be perfect. That is so true. Oh, my gosh, you said a mouthful then. It makes me think about people when they're joining the church. They're always, I can't come right now. I got to get myself together first. And that all that is prolonging. You're never going to get yourself completely together. So if you wait until you're perfect, again, like you said, then heck, you'll never get started. You get perfect through practice, right? Practice is what makes you perfect. You can't practice. You can't be the best player in the game if you never get in the game.
Love it. You can't be the best player in the game if you never get in the game. I love that, Dr. Chester.
If you never get off the bench, right? That's right. Let's change it from get in the game if you don't get off the bench. If you never get off the bench, you can't be the best player in the game.
You cannot. That is so true, so true. So, Dr. Chester, what are some strategies you would give to someone who is looking to climb the corporate ladder in higher education?
Oh, my gosh. Now, that is a phenomenal question. Now, this one is a unique question. And it's unique because when it comes to education and climbing the corporate ladder, I am going to start by saying the first thing that you have to do is understand who and what you are to the organization that you're trying to climb in. Now, what I mean by that is I taught at several universities. And at some of those universities, I was realistic to realize that my value proposition was higher at some universities compared to others. And so with that, you have to just be realistic about the environment in which you want to be in, because some places are going to place a higher value on you. And so when it comes to it, you have to make sure that, again, when you're philosophically aligned at the university, that is philosophically aligned with you. What I mean by that, some universities are very, very heavy research, right? They're called Tier 1 universities, and that's what they go by as research. And then you have your Tier 2 and Tier 3 who are less research heavy. Now, while I'm smart as I want to be, and I can do research with the best of them, my primary focus is not research. I'm about the student. My thing is teaching, being in the classroom. And so when I'm at a Tier 1 school like a Florida State or UNF, they don't really care that I want to be in the classroom as much as they want to see me writing papers, being published. And so my value proposition at those universities would not be as high as it would be at a university, say like let's just give an example of a Tier 2 or Tier 3, a smaller college. You know, if I were at Claflin in South Carolina or somewhere like that, those are teaching colleges. And so you have to just make sure that it's philosophically aligned with who and what you are, personally and professionally is the advice that I would give someone.
Love that. So the takeaways, understand who and what you are to the organization. That is so important. And being realistic about the environment and philosophically aligned personally and professionally. Those were awesome takeaways, Dr. Chester. Awesome. So what did failure teach you?
Oh, my gosh. So let me start by saying one of my favorite quotes is that, first off, it's how you look at failure. So I always say this, and I say this to everybody I come to. Boo, I don't lose. I never lose. Either I win or I learn. And so what failure does is it's not failure. It's called learning. It's practice, right? To fail is to practice. When you fail, what you've done is practice. What you've learned is what not to do. Right. And you just keep learning what not to do until you find out what to do. And so failure teaches you what not to do. It teaches you that, you know what, I need to take another route. I need to take another perspective. And so failure is something that I feel like we don't ever fail. We're learning. Failure is not failure. It's learning.
It's learning. Yes, it is. And just being okay with being uncomfortable, because that's part of the process. So if we're not failing, then we're not successful.
Exactly. Yes.
So learning that failure is just a lesson, what did success teach you?
Oh, wow. What did success teach me? Success taught me that success may not be enough. Success may not be enough, again, because it's how you define success. If someone were to read my bio, they would feel like I've been successful. But in my opinion, I've merely just scratched the surface. And so I guess if success has taught me anything, I'd have to quote Swiss Beats and say that the sky is not the limit. The sky is merely the view. And that once I achieve, it just teaches me that I can keep achieving, that, you know, you can always just keep going, that we never ever, there's something called Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? And everybody is always trying to reach actualization. We're trying to get to that point where we actualize who and what we are, but I don't think there is a cap. I don't think that a person can ever cap out. I don't think that you can ever reach your full potential. And so I think that's what success teaches me, is that you can always be and do better. It also has taught me that appreciate the journey. Appreciate the journey. Yeah, appreciate the journey to success. Many of us reach a certain point in our lives, and then we forget where we came from. We forget the things that got us there. But it's those things that got us to the point of where we can enjoy the top of the mountain. And so it would be just to appreciate the journey.
I love it. Appreciate the journey. And that comes with staying humble on top of that, remembering, like you stated, where we come from. Yes. I love that. So, Dr. Chester, you have a lot of great things going on. So what I would like you to share with the listeners is, what can we expect from you in 2019?
Oh my gosh. Other than Black Educators Rock Publishing, Black Educators Rock Network, me co-authoring the third volume of the Girlfriend Code, which is not the third volume, it's actually called the Sorority Edition. That's my third co-author book with the Girlfriend Code. Besides those things, besides me brokering, I'm brokering a company, a real estate company. I think what you can expect is us to, Black Educators Rock wise, when it comes to my nonprofit, my next initiative is two things. We're going to look into having Black Educators Rock schools.
Ooh.
We're going to have our own schools because the way that education is going, monies are going to be funded to charter schools, and so we're going to have our own schools. And we're also, Black Educators Rock is also going to have a realtor referral network to where we help educators and buy homes, and not just buy homes, but get into this real estate business as investors and agents, et cetera. So we're going to have the realtor referral network are two things I'll do nonprofit-wise in 2019. What I'll do business-wise, as far as me being a broker and a real estate instructor, is I'll be going to my hometown of Daytona Beach, and I'll be pushing home ownership. And so I'm getting ready to do a really, really big home ownership initiative in Daytona Beach, where I'm from. And then personally, my husband is running for Congress. He's running for congressional district number 5 here in Jacksonville, Florida. And so I'll be supporting him in that personally. I'll continue to raise these two gorgeous little boys I have who are 6 and 8 years old. My future president is my 8-year-old. Those are things that you'll see from me in 2019 is me continuing to be the best mommy that I can be. And what else? I think those are the things that are on my immediate to-do list in 2019. And to continue to philosophically align myself with people like Miss Ashley Little and others who are moving and shaking all across this country, and just to continue to make those networks with my sorors and friends and colleagues.
Well, first, I want to say that I'm humbled and honored to be in connection with you, Dr. Chester. You are simply amazing. And you have so much great things that are about to come up. Black Educators Rock Schools, congratulations. That is huge.
Thank you.
That is huge.
Thank you.
And in the realtor to referral network, that is awesome. I mean, your husband's running for Congress. You got some awesome things that are about to happen in 2019, and I'm sure you didn't even name everything else that you probably have going on. So I just want to say congratulations, and I can't wait to see all of the great things that God is about to do in your life this year. Congratulations in advance.
Well, thank you. That's right, because it is in advance, because the one thing that we believe in is affirmations, right? You put it in the atmosphere, it has to come into fruition. You got to speak positively. You got to watch what you put out here. You got to watch what you're putting out in this world. So thank you, Ashley, for that.
You are welcome. So please tell the listening audience how they can follow, support you, and purchase your books and get, and how they can contact you, Dr. Chester.
And so again, depending on in which way you want to reach me, again, because I am a person who believes in wearing many hats, and I've heard people say, "Oh, you do the most," and no, I'm not doing the most, because I can do more. But it depends on which hat that you want to reach me with. If it's Black Educators Rock and the nonprofit, again, that's blackeducatorsrock.org, rockconference.org, or 1-833-4BER Inc. If you want to reach me, and I have on my real estate hat, you can reach me at Dr. Chester at premiercoachrealty.com, or docmakeshousecalls.com is my website. If you're reaching out to me just because you just want to see what I'm doing and you want to see what's going on, I am on Facebook as Mellissa Nolan-Chester with the D, no land. I'm on Twitter and I'm on Instagram. Instagram is Dr. DST5. And so I am available in a plethora of platforms. And so it just depends on what you're reaching out for. If you want to reach out to me in reference to my husband and what he's doing politically, you can reach out to me at MelissaChester3@gmail. So, I mean, Google me. You can find me. I'm all over the place, all right? Google me.
Yes, you are. And thank you so much, Dr. Chester, like I stated before, for taking the time out of your very busy schedule to give me the opportunity to interview you today. Thank you, thank you. And I look forward to bringing you back on the show because I can't wait to hear more about the Black Educators Rock schools. This is just awesome. It's amazing. I'm still stuck right here.
Oh, my God. Thank you for having me, Ashley. And you know, how can I not be on my soror show, my little sister show? Ashley and I haven't been knowing each other long, but I'm adopting her. She's becoming my little sister quickly. If you guys know her, you know that spirit is infectious, that bubbly. Nobody has more energy than her. She's talking about how busy I am. I'm busy, but I sound tired. She's busy, and she always sounds like she got 8 hours of sleep last night. I don't know how she does it. I'm trying to figure it out.
Yes, Dr. Chester. Thank you so much. Like I said before, I'm humble and honored to be in connection with you. It has been a blessing since we met, and just building those genuine relationships. And it's the perfect example of building genuine relationships, and not only genuine, but reciprocal relationships on top of that. So I'm just thankful. And yes, you are my soror, yes. And I know that I can go anywhere in the world, right? And we know we got a sister that got our back, right?
That's right. And ditto, it is an honor and a privilege to know you and to be in connection with you. And I am looking forward to our future collaborations and connections and what we're going to do in this world as girlfriends and what we're going to, how we're going to impact other girlfriends. So that's an exciting thing that you and I are working on.
Yes, and I'm excited about the journey, and I can't wait to see what's going to come of it. It's going to be pretty awesome. It's going to be an epic journey, too. Can't wait.
Cannot. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So I would like to give a special thanks to two of my mentors, Tammy Collins-Marquis and John Schamberger. Also, I would like to give a special thanks to Dr. Larry White Sr. and author Kimberly McLemore. And also, you all may follow me on Facebook at Ashley Little and on Instagram at _Ashley A. Little. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Creating Your Seat at the Table, where Ashley speaks with corporate professionals, celebrities, entrepreneurs, authors, and speakers who are transitioning or have transitioned to entrepreneurship.